Hello there, everyone. Welcome to Mellow Monday. Yeah, we're going to mellow out with Psalm 78, only not the entire Psalm 78 because it just kind of goes on forever. It's 70 some verses long, but it's an important one and it fits into our whole theme that we'll be doing the next couple of weeks, which is bread from heaven. And if you look at the very beginning of Psalm 78, you see up there it says, a maskil of Asaph. Now, that's important to know. What is a maskil of Asaph? Well, Asaph was one of several musicians who played in the court of Solomon and David, and they played musical instruments and whatever, but also sang psalms. And they may have even written some of the psalms. And the word maskil itself has its meaning rooted in the Hebrew, meaning instruction. Okay, so it's telling the people, pay attention right here. In fact, guess what it says at the very beginning? Give ear, O my people, to my teaching. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. So, all right, everybody, listen up. We're going to talk about God's people, your ancestors, as they made their journey out of slavery in Egypt through the wilderness to the promised land. And some of the stuff's going to be really good, and some of it's going to be really terrible. We're going to look at some really good stuff. We're going to be using verses 23 through 29. All right? And it talks about God providing manna, bread in the wilderness, and also birds that they could eat, quail. All right, just look at verse 23. He commanded the skies above and opened the doors of heaven. He rained down on them manna to eat. And mortals ate the bread of angels. He sent them food in abundance. He caused the east wind to blow in the heavens, and by his power he let out the south wind, and he rained flesh upon them like dust, winged birds like the sand of the seas, and let them fall within their camp, all around their dwelling. And they ate and were well filled, and he gave them what they craved. So God provides. He provided manna from heaven, bread. Do you know what the word manna literally means in Hebrew? What is it? What is it? Yeah, that's what the words mean. What is this? What is this we got? It's manna, because it didn't look anything like bread, but it was nourishing as bread. All right? So we had that, and then once the people complained once again, and Psalm 78 is really good at talking about all the complaints of the people, and not only how they complain, oh, we got us bread to eat, can't we have some meat too? And God, in this short little snippet, does send them the quail. But then, if you read in the book of Numbers, God is really, really angry at all this murmuring the people keep doing. And what does he do? The people eat so much they get sick, and a lot of them die. Oh, what a weird story. Yeah, it's in the book of Numbers. Look it up, folks. And it's fascinating because God is gracious and he is merciful and he gives us what we need in due season. We saw that in our psalm last week. And here he is as Asaph is giving this teaching, this maskil, he's saying, God, that's exactly what God did. And he goes on to say, in fact, God still does it. But stop your moaning and groaning, people. God is good. He'll take care of you. Put your faith and your hope and your trust in him. And stop the griping and the groaning. And, God has had enough of it. Because sometimes there's consequences to our griping and groaning. Now, having said that, does that mean we can't complain to God? It doesn't mean that at all. And we know that because most of the Psalms are laments, which are basically complaints. God, where are you? Why are you not helping us? How come you're not showing your face to us? All that sort of stuff. And it's okay to do that. But there's ways of doing it and ways not to do it. There's faithful ways of complaining to God, and there's unfaithful ways of doing it. And the Psalms teach us that. The Psalms teach us that when you make a complaint, make sure you're telling God at the same time, look, I can't understand. I don't know why I'm going through this, but God, I still trust you. I trust you're doing what's best for me. And I'll put my faith and my hope and my trust in you. All right, so we'll be looking at Psalm 78, just a little portion of it. If you want to read the entire thing, it is fascinating, and it brings into perspective a whole bunch of biblical writings that preceded this, especially from the Pentateuch, the first 5 books of the Bible. Because as we read through the Pentateuch, we see some of these stories of manna and quail and things like that that are told in slightly different ways in some of those different books of the Bible, but all compiled together in those first 5 books, which was the most sacred writings that the people of Israel had for many, many years. And for some of them, that's the only sacred writings they have. For the Sadducees in Jesus' day, it was only those first 5 books of the Bible. That was it. Nothing else. So pay attention to what you find written in them. It's good stuff, good stuff. Well, get outside now if you can. It's late morning here, and get whatever work you need done, because it's going to be, like I said, close to 90 degrees today, and hot and sticky. And then we get the rain for most of the rest of the week. But you know what? All in all, it's been a pretty good summer. Well, God's blessings be with you, and enjoy the rest of your day.